After taking 11 days off, I'm still sick about hitting and losing my number one buck. I can't shake the idea that he's laying out there somewhere dead. I decide to move on. My first hunt back takes place in a stand that has produced a lot of action over the years, one that overlooks an open gate separating a small plot from a larger ag field. It is the classic staging area plot. The evening produces two notable sightings, a really good 3-year-old that will be a dandy in a couple of years, and two of the dogs that messed up my hunt in the same spot more than 2 weeks earlier. My next hunt comes 2 days later, November 26th. Snow now covers the terrain, 6 inches deep. I am sure this event will send the deer to standing food. With the rut dying down, it is the time for me to forget morning hunts and focus on the best food sources. I decide to make the long trek down into a large bottom field planted to soybeans. I got trail camera photos of 2 bucks here back in September and October that I would definitely shoot. An old 10-pointer that I call Scarface and a really good 8-pointer. In my obsession with the Big 7, I have almost totally ignored these 2 solid bucks.
See every deer that lives in this part of the farm tonight.
Within an hour of getting into the redneck blind, Scarface is on the field, establishing himself as the master of all he surveys.
Are you still on it?
Yeah, he's right there.
It might be that Scarface buck. Big in there too.
Is it really?
Yeah, but not as big, but there's another one similar. There he goes. Further out.
So, oh yeah, I see him. Is he chasing him or is he?
That's the one we saw before. That 8. It was like, hey, we'd like to see that 8 again.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah. Mr. Big didn't like that.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, it's the Scarface buck. I can see the scars now. Yep.
See, I didn't give him.
No, it's Scarface buck. We need a collection of does to come right down here in front of the blind.
Him and his girlfriend will come over here.
Yeah. What did that buck? What are they spooking off?
I don't know.
They were looking our way.
It's not sent.
Do you think it's something behind us? Smelled us?
No way.
We had a field full of deer just about 5 minutes ago, and I had opened the windows. There's some more deer starting to come back out now, but I'd opened a couple of the windows because it was getting so much condensation on the inside that it was hard to film out. And I think there must have been something downwind of us that picked us up. But there was a buck out there. He's a deer that I've had trail camera pictures of in this field for the past 2 years, and he's definitely one that I would shoot. He's one of 2 targets that I knew of coming in here. The other one's a real big 8-pointer, a big beautiful 8-pointer. We haven't seen him yet. So maybe with some luck, these deer will come back out again, because there are deer starting to come back out right now. Let's see what they are. There's a bunch of them. This just shows the challenge that you face with these bigger fields like this. But just getting the one that you want within bow range is so tough when the field is this big. You never know. I mean, you can get lucky, and there's tracks all over in the snow right underneath the blind. So some deer had to come past within close range. Maybe with some luck, he'll bump a doe over this way, and we'll get a crack at him yet before the night's over.
The action here has captured my attention. It is tough to bow hunt a 6-acre field, but at least we are seeing lots of deer, and one of them is a solid shooter. This is where I plan to spend the rest of the early portion of the bow season. That same evening, 40 miles to the west, Caleb Byers heads out to the food plot he planted in his backyard.
Well, it's November 26th this evening, and I'm in here after a little after-work hunt. Got off work at 3 and got in here by 3:20. There was already a couple. Well, actually, when I pulled into the driveway, there was a doe and 2 fawns out here, and there's the 2 of the fawns have already made their way back into the field. The deer should be feeding like crazy tonight. We have 14 inches of snow on the ground that just piled in yesterday, so their need to feed should be very high tonight. We're sitting on 2 acres of standing beans, so we have one of the best food sources you could ask for right now. There's a couple different bucks in here, tweezer being one of them, and then a mature 10-point, and then you never know what could show up on a night like tonight. There's so much timber around here, and having the best food source possible for this time of year, with tons of does coming here, you could see some late rut action. I don't foresee that with the need to feed being so high, but you never know. Everything's pointing in our favor to get it done tonight. We just need the right deer to step out and get into bow range. So it's been a long season, lots of struggles along the way, but it all can change on a dime, so hopefully that happens tonight. Well, I have to talk pretty quiet because this has been absolutely insane, and I've got deer pretty close. But I've seen 11 deer already, and 3 of which have been bucks. So we just need the right deer to step out. It just feels right tonight. It feels like it's gonna be one of those nights where you get it done. Whoa! Who is that? That might be our boy. Well, that is a big, gigantic bodied mature buck, and if he gives me an opportunity, I'm probably gonna take it. I never thought coming into this, where we just have 16 acres and essentially just hunting 2 of it. I never dreamed. And there's so many deer. I never dreamed we might have a hunt like this. But, it just gives me the chills thinking about it. Anybody can do this. He's at 57 right now, so we just need another 30 yards. And he'll be in bow range, so he's kind of angled this way, so you never know, it might come together. We still got quite a bit of time, so stay tuned. This could get interesting. That's our boy. That's the buck we hunted the other night. Well, I just had the buck that we hunted the other night step out, and unfortunately he's staying at about 60 yards right now. We have 2 shooters in the field, and this has been amazing. Oh, this might be just what we needed. Well, I know you can't see me very well, but I just shot that big mature 8. I could have shot that 10 that came through first, but that 8 was definitely a more mature deer, so that's the buck I wanted to target. And the first deer shot behind our house, so that's absolutely awesome and insane. I'm just gonna go ahead and get down out of here and get the kids and go take a look at him.
Where's Mommy?
She's out here. You ready to go find him?
Yeah, let's go.
Think you can find him?
Yeah, you can find him.
You're gonna find him? You know Dad shot him out of that blind right up there?
Yeah, remember? We put it together?
You helped us, didn't you? You helped us put it together.
Go find him.
Let's go find him. Okay.
That's him.
Where? That is him.
Yeah.
Is that a big buck? Give me a 5. Well, here he is, and had my little hunting buddy help me track him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Just a brute of a body deer, especially for this late in the rut. Couldn't be more thankful to harvest the first buck behind our house, and I'm sure it's the first of hopefully many. What do you think, Hux? Do you approve? Yeah.
No.
You got to drag him out of here.
Yeah.
But and also, what are we gonna do with him?
Eat him.
Eat him, yeah. We like deer, don't we?
You gonna help Dad drag him?
You help me drag him? All right. All right. You grab that side, I'll grab this side. You're tough.
Once the rut is over, you can separate the remaining hunters into 2 camps. Those that hunt over attractive food sources, they are the ones most likely to fill tags, and those that don't. Without food, late season hunting is very challenging. While I am in Camp 1, Brad Bever is in Camp 2. The next evening, he and Jared Mills set out on Brad's first Iowa bow hunt. After taking 3 months to gain his legal residency, Brad is more than ready to carry a bow.
Alright, it's November 27th, and it's an exciting day here because this is Brad's very first hunt in Iowa with the bow in his hand anyways. As you guys know, we've been hunting together most of the fall, and Brad's been behind the camera, but he literally just got his Iowa residency, last week, right?
Yeah,
officially.
Residency last week, yeah.
And bought a tag today, so he's got a bow tag that we can use for these next 3 days in Iowa before gun season's rolling, and then that tag's also good for the late season. We are on the project farm tonight, so it's been a while since we've been in here, and we don't really know what's going on. I don't think Brad's gonna be too picky. Just any good mature buck that comes by is probably gonna get an arrow. So hopefully we can lay our eyes on something and can develop a plan for these next couple days. Can't tell what it is. It's either a big toe or a buck. Just big bodied. Going up to them beans.
While Brad and Jared wait for the action to start, Caleb and Taylor Byers are back in the same blind behind their house where Caleb filled his first tag the evening before.
Well, it's November 27th this evening, and we decided to come right back to the blind behind the house. Seen so many deer last night. It was just absolutely insane, and then capped it off with shooting a really awesome mature buck. I left for work this morning, and there was about 20 deer out here, so I was like, there's no reason to not go right back here tonight and hope that Tweezers pops out. Today, I had Taylor get a babysitter. That way she could come along too and hopefully enjoy the experience. You know, yesterday was kind of a last second deal, so hopefully they start pouring out like last night, and maybe we can go 2 for 2 back here and put tweezers on the ground too. So we better settle in here because it looks like the floodgates could open anytime. There's another couple coming from the back of the field on the left side. You can tell the one in the back's not gonna, he's gonna, I'm just eating, bro. Well, we have about 35-40 minutes left, and we've seen a pile of does and fawns. You never know, there's plenty of time for a big one to still step out, so hopefully tweezers makes an appearance. Dude, it's a giant. Giant. Where? On the right side of the back of the field.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Holy smokes. Yeah, he's a 9. He's a giant 9. Just be careful, these does are pretty close. Well, we just walked back in the house here. I couldn't really do a closing interview with so many deer right around the blind, but it was a little bit later buck movement tonight, but man, it didn't disappoint. We seen tons of deer and one absolute stud. It's probably gonna be our last sit until bow season opens back up, but all in all, great hunt and can't wait to get back after it.
Back on the project farm, Brad has his first experience with Iowa deer blowing at him. Maybe this isn't going to be as easy as everyone made it look during the past month.
I wish I had a doe tag. It's about 5 o'clock now. We actually had a pretty good night for just kind of being pressed for time and just picking a tree. Had those does come in and the wind was just a little bit too west and she got our wind and got kind of spooky, but probably only have 20 minutes left of light, so I think we may make the trip down to Jared's farm this week, probably tomorrow, and it'll be fun because we'll both have bows in the tree, so just add another aspect to it, but looking forward to that. So if we see anything else, we'll let you know, but overall pretty good night for just kind of throwing a hunt together last minute.
"75 miles to the east, I head back to the same big bottom field. This time I decide to hunt a tree stand on the other side of the field from the blind, very close to where Scarface came from 2 evenings before." We're heading back to the big bottom field this evening, the spot where I saw that buck that I nicknamed Scarface 2 nights ago. From the blind, we could see a lot of deer crisscrossing on the other end of the field. That's where we're going to be tonight. And it's a little bit complex getting in there because it's surrounded by bedding areas. So I brought the four-wheeler over here, and we parked out here on the end of the dirt road so that we don't have to drive through potentially the mud underneath the snow to get back there and get stuck in the truck. So running the four-wheeler all the way around, clear down to this creek, and then we're gonna sneak hopefully in the creek. Hopefully we're not making a bunch of noise in there crashing through ice and stuff, but hopefully we can sneak that creek and then pop right over the high bank and into that stand, which is right on the west end of that big bottom field. It's I think this is one of those, I would say, all or nothing type of hunts. I mean, we are definitely going to spook deer at the end of legal shooting time, but we've only got one more day really of hunting for me before the shotgun season comes in. I'm only going to hunt tomorrow night. I can't hunt Friday night. We got some family activity, and then it's the shotgun season here, which takes up about 16 days. So it's not a big deal to go in there and sort of play your final card because there's not much to lose. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I believe we've got a realistic chance of killing that buck tonight.
Yep. Dang it. He screwed us. You watch, you'll walk right over to that blind. He just popped out at the end of the trees there, right behind the blind. That is a very good sized deer. I have to wait till she gets well past you. Are you good? Still good. Now he's moving again. I think if we can get his attention, we can get him up here. You heard that one, didn't you? Wow. Too bad I didn't run this way.
During this part of the season, deer are super skittish. One deer ran off the field for no apparent reason, and this triggered an avalanche of crashing bodies and waving white tails that quickly cleared the field. Sensing that the danger was imagined and not real, the deer quickly began filtering back.
Man, we were at least in the game tonight. The buck that we came in here to hunt was, he came out on this end a couple of days ago when we were down there in that redneck blind. And this evening, of course, he came out on that end when we were over here. But it's a little cat and mouse that we're going to have to play with that deer on this big food plot. But it's a lot of fun. It's all part of the game, I guess. But it just shows, I mean, we were talking about the value of the first time in. And the deer were comfortable on this end. The ones that did come out here, they didn't look at this tree, no problems at all, and ended up shooting a doe that was trying to slip around. And I was afraid she was going to get on the downwind side. So I think we can sneak out of here and grab her and drag her out and not, make a big mess of this field. That's my hope, so that tomorrow night when we come back, these deer are still going to be using this in a relaxed way. So check back again tomorrow, and with a little bit of luck, we can still wrap our tag on that Scarface buck.
I never thought coming into this, where we just have 16 acres and essentially just hunting 2 of it. I never dreamed. And there's so many deer. I never dreamed we might have a hunt like this. But, I mean, it just gives me the chills thinking about it. Anybody can do this.
I have a target now, Scarface. He is not the biggest cat in the forest, but I really like him. He has a nasty attitude that I've come to respect. He is the bull of the woods, a worthy quarry for the last 2 days of my early bow season. Brad Bever is feeling the time crunch. After waiting all fall for the sacred Iowa tag, he now has only 2 days left to fill it, or he will have to wait again, another 18 days until the firearms seasons are over. Brad is not the only one getting ready to heave a buzzer beater from half court. My season is coming down to the wire too, at least the first part. This month has only 2 more days. How did I end up here when the season started with so much promise? Regardless of the potholes, the road still leads through the promised land, but the promised land is closing in 2 days. We have to pull things together right now before the guns start blazing. In just 2 more days, we will no longer be chasing November.